I was asked by the NewsHour, what are my top 10 news stories of the year? This was now end of 2009. What are my top 10? I said, I don't have 10 stories, I have 5. Okay, what are they? I said, one of them is Russia inviting us to join them to deflect Apophis. They said, why? I said, here's why. Why is Russia creating the spaceship that's going to deflect Apophis, which, if it hits, wipes out the west coast of the United States? Aren't we the ones who's supposed to fund that mission and then invite others to participate? Isn't this how it has always been before? So that was an important news story for me because that is the beginning of the end. That's where you think you're at the top and people start doing things on their own with or without you. And all of a sudden, you gradually fade to insignificance on the world stage. That was writing on the wall for me when we were not leading that mission. Let's keep going. How about Brazil? If I mention Brazil, what's the first thing you think of? Someone said, bikinis. The guys are saying, yeah, the tongue bikinis, yeah. Soccer, maybe? Okay. This is the American view of Brazil. I understand. It's completely understandable. However, it blinds you to the fact that they have a burgeoning aerospace industry. Do you know that most planes that you fly between regional cities is made and designed in Brazil? You're not thinking this because you're still distracted by bikinis. Brazil has the third largest aerospace industry in the world, employing 18,000 people. It's a $20 billion industry there, and they invented the first airplane that can fly on alcohol. Brazil. Now, we don't do that because we just drink our alcohol. See, that's how that happens. We don't even think to make a plane out of it. So notice the American bias that prevents us from recognizing the rest of the world rising up as we stand there flat-footed. Europe. Let's take a look at pre-Euro currency. I'm intrigued by this. Before the Euro came out, Europe valued, they still do, they value their scientists enough to put them on their currency. Check this out. So you have Tesla in the upper right, Yugoslavia. Some Tesla fans out there. We got Copernicus, and who do we have? We have Marconi down here, and who pioneered radio communication, and we have Saint Ashupa right here, not a scientist, but an aviator. And who's the cute little character? Who's the little boy here? Who's that? Who's that together now? The Little Prince, of course. Who here did not know that that's the Little Prince? Admit it. Okay. So you guys are honest. Everyone else is lying, all right? The Little Prince landed on an asteroid, by the way. The name of that asteroid was called B. Anybody know the rest of the numbers? Oh, okay, that's a good guess. Wrong, but it's a good guess. 210. Actually, I forgot the numbers, but I know it's not that. I think it's B662. Whatever that number is, there's a website you can go to that is all about deflecting asteroids. And it chose the name of Little Prince's asteroid for its website. And so check it out. So you see this, and you can flip over the currency, and it has the iconography of that person's life. So you have some, amazing lightning demonstration there, electrical discharge from Tesla. We've got sort of the sun-centered solar system. There's the tower. We got a biplane there, telescopes. It's all there. We keep going. Hang on. So here's Darwin from England. We got one of his finches. We've got some Darwin fans. What's odd, they always show him with this big old sort of grandpa beard, but he did his greatest work when he was 26. So you can at least put some hair back on his head, But I figured, maybe they figured if he'd show him his 26, no one would think he did, but he was 26 when he did it. This is currency from Romania. They had a total solar eclipse go across their country, and so they thought, let's make some money out of that. So they put the path, and on the flip side, I don't know what that is, right? It's got like an amoeba thing. So an artist gone a little too far, all right? But it's clearly cosmically inspired art. That money, by the way, is made of polymer. It does not rip. Is the future of paper currency. Here we have Al-Hassan, who figured out how sight worked. He's from 1,000 years ago in Baghdad. This is on Iraqi currency. And we got Albert here. He's adopted into Israeli currency. Of course, he was not Israeli, but when you're famous, everyone claims you. See, that's how that works. All of these folks are scientists. Keep going. We've got Euler and Galileo and Gauss and Faraday and Pasteur. All letters are silent. Pasteur. And I don't know what they're doing to this dog here. I'm not even going to ask. We got my boy Ike. And everybody's there. Oh, by the way, wait, if we were to ask, who in the world do we think, literally and perhaps stereotypically, make the best engineers in the world? Germany, of course, you think about it. It's German. German engineering. It's a selling point when they sell cars. German engineering. Okay? German engineering. Well, so that's 10 Deutschmarks. Okay, on the right, that's Carl Friedrich Gauss, brilliant mathematician. Let's zoom in on that currency here. Wait a minute, what is that? Whoa, a mathematical distribution function on the money. Whoa, okay. Look at this. Imagine how different America would be if we had equations on our money. We might still be leading the world in something. Actually, we do have a scientist on our money, don't we? Who's that? Ben Franklin. Here he goes. So he's a scientist on money. Surely there's some iconography of his contributions. Let me see. Nope, there's not even a kite, all right? Or there's nothing. I don't even see a lightning rod, all right? So clearly that's not why he's on the money. He's on the money because he's a founding father, not because he was a scientist. In fact, he was one of the most famous scientists of his day in his researches in electricity. Ben Franklin. There's something called naming rights that matters. It matters to cultures. Let's first take a look at this familiar chart of boxes. Some of you are getting the shakes here, I see. Haven't seen it since high school, have you? Okay. The periodic table of elements, it's color-coded. I have a cool program on my computer where you can color code them differently. Let's color code by melting point. How about that? Ooh. It's like there were 7 orgasms in the audience when I saw this. I'm certain of it. Okay. Chemistry geeks all the way. So, your highest melting point is more red and lowest. So your lowest melting point is actually helium. Your highest melting point is carbon in the upper right. But there's a group here. So you have wolfram, rhenium, and osmium. Wolfram, otherwise known as tungsten, had Edison access to, if he had access to this chart, he would have found tungsten immediately. Most of his experiments were sort of just trial and error. He could have gone straight to tungsten, put it in his light bulb, and he would have been good to go. So it's an interesting way to organize this. I could do it by discovery date. This is before any element was actually discovered by anybody, and so it just lists the elements known to the ancients. Iron, copper, silver, gold, lead, bismuth, sulfur, carbon. We can slide the date forward, and now we're up to 1776. And so this is the entire periodic table of elements, which wasn't yet organized in that form, at the year of our Declaration of Independence. There's like a dozen elements there. That's it. We also knew about hydrogen, discovered 1766.